And we are live on another edition of the K&K Sports Show. Full panel tonight. I'll go last with my intro. I'm going to start with Mr. Siciliano. What's going on, Mr. Sis?
Not much, fellas. Hope everybody's doing well. Getting ready for the game tonight.
Mr. Carson Shear, the one, the only, the legend. Carson Shear, what is up, my friend?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, like Sis just said, big game 3 tonight. I think whoever wins tonight's game is going to really set the tone for the rest of the series. And, yeah, looking forward. I know we got our friends Rudy and Joey Clams, a huge game 5 for tomorrow for the Rangers and Lightning series. So bunch of festivities happening this week. Looking forward to it.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you?
Doing well. Looking forward to a fun night for you guys and the NBA playoffs. NHL, some MLB, and a little bit in here, a little bit in between as well. So we'll have a fun little hour and a half with you guys.
All right, I will go with mine. I'm pumped up. Thank you, Avalanche, for getting to the Stanley Cup. Ching ching.
Yeah,
I will take that. I got some nice texts. Sis hit me up. Mikey Mush hit me up. Joey Clams just texted, pay the player. So that's what his text was. And I'm pumped up because I now have not only a franchise quarterback, boys, I got the richest owner in the NFL on my team. So I am excited about that. Mr. Kirkpatrick, while we're waiting for Paul to get set up, you want me to do a couple? I have a couple personalized quick hitters. Do you want me to get into that with the guys?
Sure, if you want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to start with you, Kenny. All right? I'm going to start with you. NBA quick hitters. If you could only put all our assets for the New York Knicks into one of two players, whether it's this year, next year, and regardless of when it is, but it's going to take the majority of our assets, picks, young players. Would you do it for Donovan Mitchell or would you do it for Zion Williamson? One or the other.
I'm going to do it on Donovan Mitchell because Zion's an unproven. He's always hurt.
What did you click? You clicked something.
So you're taking Zion.
Yeah.
Okay.
He unmuted me.
My next question for Sis. Sis, right now, if you could take only one of these players on your team, would you take prime Larry Bird or prime Steph Curry?
Prime Larry Bird.
Okay. Carson, I'm coming to you right now.
All right.
I'm going to give you two of your championship teams, the Bad Boy Pistons, Isaiah, Dumars, Rodman, Lambeer, yada, yada, that group. And I'll even go with your second group, Billups, Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace was on that team. Here's my question to you. If those teams played into Kenny, you might have to mute Paul because I can't hear. So I'm saying why we're just in a while. So Carson, if those teams played today in today's NBA,
oh man,
would one of them, which one, both of them, or neither win an NBA championship?
Yeah, it's such a tough question, because back then, especially in the 80s, I mean, you talk about there's a reason why they were called the Bad Boys. And, I mean, you could throw a guy down to the floor and it'd only be called as a foul. If you did that now, you'd be ejected and fined from the league. So the league's definitely turned a different direction. If I had to pick of those two teams, I would probably go with the 89-90 Pistons and the Bad Boys. That team was just pure dominance all the way around. The 2004 Pistons were pretty sweet. Nobody expected them to upset the Lakers. But I would go with the Bad Boys, and I think they could get a title today.
So you would like your chances against this, Golden State quote unquote dynasty. You would take your chances.
I go with the Bad Boys. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick. I know you wanted to do a little NBA.
Yeah, I think Paul's with us. Just he's having some technical difficulties, but I think he's with us now. Let's get Paul's intro. How's it going, Paul?
Technical difficulties beyond my control, so hopefully it'll be good from now on.
All right, you know what? Let me give Paul my quick hitter with Paul then. Kenny, can I get one more with Paul?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Paul. A realistic name. I know there's rumors that Tommy Thibodeau is on, a short leash this year when it comes to the NBA. Your dream coach for our New York Knicks, but realistic, who would it be?
I've wanted this guy for a long time. I think he would have been a great coach years ago. I always wanted to see Mark Jackson coaching this team.
Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
I
a good
always
one.
wanted him.
Okay. So there you go, Kenny. Those were I just wanted to do a quick hitter each for everybody, NBA. And
All right.
you're up.
All right, let's do a little NBA talk, guys. Game 3, we got the Celtics and Warriors tied at 1. Celtics took game 1. The Warriors bounced back. Big game 2. Hearing a couple of things. I know we did this question last week on who you would do last shot, but let me ask the four of you this question and anybody in the audience, especially for those who said Klay Thompson for the Warriors. He's struggling. He's not performing well in the first 2 games. Do you double team Curry if it comes down to a last minute shot? And who is taking that shot if Steph Curry's double team? I'll go to Carson. Are you still putting Klay Thompson, or are you going to go with somebody else?
Yeah, if Curry was double teamed, I wouldn't give him the ball. I would go. I think I would still stick with Klay. It's one of those things where he's got to find his confidence once again. And I feel like if, in that situation, you put the ball in his hands and he knocks down the shot, all the momentum's back in his hands. So I think you still give it to Klay, even when he's struggling.
Sis, what are your thoughts if it came down to a last-minute shot?
It's a no-brainer to give it to Klay Thompson.
Kurt?
Yeah, I'm with those two guys. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not letting Jordan Poole I'm riding with Klay Thompson, man. He's a winner. He hit tons of big shots. I'm riding with him.
And I'll ask Paul, and then Paul, you start the backup question. Do you think if it came down to a last-minute shot, will they double team Steph Curry?
I'm going to clean sweep the board and agree with everyone. Definitely Klay Thompson, been there, done that. He's too good. All he needs, as Carson just said, all he would need to do is hit one shot, and all his confidence would come back. The guy's a winner and has been. To answer your second question, if Steph is smart enough and he's double teamed, he's going to get rid of the ball. He's not going to force it. He's going to look for someone who's open. He's a team player all the way. And if it means being able to pass off for the winning assist, absolutely, he would do it.
Change the
guys,
question.
real quick, Kenny, question coming in from our good friend Steve Waldman. Hi, guys. Let's go Celtics. So we know where he's going tonight.
What's up, Steve? Thanks for joining. Let me change the question for Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors down 1.
Mm.
Are they going to shoot a 3 with Curry or Thompson, or are they going to go for the 2-point shot inside?
Depends how much time's left on the clock. I think if it's coming down to the last shot, like less than 5 seconds, I think whoever catches and whoever's in the right place in the right time, I think you fire and shoot. If it's one of those things where they're kind of right at the shot clock going down to the wire where it's kind of the exact same time, I think they would go for the 2 and really milk the clock down and drive to the basket.
Sis, let's change it to the Celtics for a question for you. Celtics, who do you have more confidence in shooting a 3 after Jason Tatum? Al Horford, the way he's been playing, or somebody like Marcus Smart?
That's a tough one because obviously Tatum's their guy. I would go with Smart.
Smart. And Kurt, I'm going to give you the same question. If it came down to Tatum getting double teamed or in foul trouble, out of the game for some reason, if he can't be the guy to take the shot and you need a 3-point field goal from the Celtics, would you go Horford or Smart? I know Brown's the second choice, but if you had another option.
You know what? I'm with Sis tonight, man. I'm going Smart. He's a gutsy player, and I don't know, man. It's something about him. He's a winner. I've always liked him, even though you hate the Celtics, you're a Knicks fan, but I like him, and he's a tough player. I'm going to go by him. Stephen Waldman saying you go to the hole, put the shot up, plus the foul down by 1. So he's saying go to the hole.
Fair enough. I like it. And Paul, I'll give you the same question.
I'm going to go with Smart. I think Al Horford is a streaky shooter. I know he hit a lot of big ones in the first game, but you don't know what you're going to get sometimes with him, especially if it's a three. So I'm going to go with Smart.
Carson, you going to clean sweep it?
Yeah, I go Smart or Brown, depending on who has the hot hand for the night.
And just so Joey Clams knows, I see him in the waiting room. We'll get to him in about 7 minutes, I would say. We'll be with you, Joe. We've got a little NBA going right now. We'll get to some hockey with you in a few minutes.
Okay.
What else do I want to do? Oh, let me ask you a question here. Off the bench, and you need 3-point field goal shooting from a bench guy at the end of a game. You have confidence in Pritchard for the Celtics, Kurt. You need a big shot.
Yeah. Again, he's like a ballsy player, man. I do like him. I mean, I'm not going to say he's my first option, but I wouldn't mind him taking a shot. Absolutely not.
Carson, Peyton Pritchard, yes or no?
No. If you're really sneaking, you want to drop a crazy play, I think that would be totally unexpected to have Pritchard shoot a last second shot. But I feel like he hasn't had enough reps yet to be in that position.
Sis.
Repeat the question. I couldn't hear it.
Peyton Pritchard off the bench. Confidence in him hitting the big three at the end of the game?
No, not really. I would say no.
And Paul?
I'm going to say yes. You know, big games sometimes make big players out of people and players who aren't. So you wouldn't think first about them. So I wouldn't hesitate about having him shoot three.
Fair enough. Let's do this. We got a couple minutes left. I got some prop bets for tonight for players, and then we'll get our prediction at the end of our NBA talk for tonight's game, and then we'll bring Joey Clams in. I got some over-unders on some player props. I'll start with Carson. Jason Tatum, over 27.5 tonight.
This was Joey's bet for today. He said go with the over for Tatum for points. So I'm going to rock with Joey Clams and go over.
Sis, over-under on Tatum.
Over.
Sis. Kurt.
Yep, over.
Paul.
Once again, I'll clean sweep it. Yes, over.
I'm not going to clean sweep it. I'm going to go under because I think it's going to be a lower scoring defensive type of game for the Celtics tonight. And I can see Tatum getting around 24, 25 points tonight. Let's go to the Warriors. Steph Curry. I'll go to Kurt first. 27.5.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a monster game. I know Boston plays good defense, but when the lights are on, man, Steph comes, and I think Steph's going to have a big game. By the way, the breaking news, Cooper Kupp just signed a big extension. And so this week, the Rams have agreed to pay Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald a combined $205 million in new deals. So the Rams are spending money.
Wow.
All I know, Kenny, for our Rocky Mountain friends that said the Rams are done and they went all in and they got no money the next 3 years, they found some money, huh?
You know what's crazy? And I think that's considered cheap for those two guys. That's one of the greatest defensive players of all time, and that's one of the best wide receivers that had a great single season this year.
Yeah. All right, so Paul, over under on Curry, 27.5.
Yeah, I think he's going to go over tonight. I agree.
And Sis.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy for him.
Carson, you sweeping
Same.
it?
Yep. Over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over with you guys on that one. Got a couple more, and then we'll go to 3-point props. Klay Thompson, 18.5. I'll start with Paul on this one.
I don't know if he's going to get 18.5. He might go 15, 16. So I'm going to say under.
Sis.
I'm going to say under.
Carson.
Yeah, I'd go under. I think he plays a bigger defensive role tonight.
Kurt.
You know what? I love you guys, but I don't know, man. I love this one. You know what? Again, lights are on. Everybody's saying Klay Thompson's done. All you hear on ESPN. He's not the same player. He's not option 2. Tonight, man, he's going to come out. I close to 30 for Klay tonight. I really do. I think he's going to tell everybody F you. You think I'm done? I'm going to show you guys tonight. I love Clay tonight, 18.5.
The rarity,
you're
I
right.
agree with you, but I don't think it's 30. I think it's more in the 20 range. So I'm going to go over as well, but I think he's going to slightly beat that mark. One more. Jaylen Brown says 23.5.
I'm going to go over on that.
I'm with you, sis. I like Jaylen Brown big time tonight. Carson.
Same, over.
Kurt.
Yep, especially at home. I'll go with the boys. Over.
And Paul.
Yeah, let's clean sweep this one.
All right, let's do some 3-point field goals. I got a couple guys. We got about 2 minutes, and then we'll bring Joey Clams in. Steph Curry, Kurt, 4.5 3-pointers, over 4.5.
Gonna go over.
I'm with you. I'm not with you. I'm sorry, I'm not with you. I think it's going to be like 3 or 4. 4.5 is a tricky number. Sis.
No, that's a tricky number. Not sure on that one.
Yeah, it's tough. Carson.
I think he gets 4, so under.
Okay, and Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Carson. I think 3 or 4, so under.
Let's do these two guys, and then we'll bring Joey Clams in. We'll get our prediction for tonight's game. We'll bring Joey Clams in. Kurt, Jason Tatum, 3.5.
You're asking the wrong guy because I always bless you. I always like
Bless
going
you.
over. I hate doing under because it could be over fast. So I'm gonna stay over.
I'm thinking over on this one, so I'm going to take over. I think Jason Tatum's going to have a big game, 4 to 5 3-pointers. Carson.
Yeah, I think barely over.
Paul.
I agree with you guys. I think it's going to be over.
And Sis.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep. Over.
My last one, I'll go to Kurt last on this one because I know where he's going to go, but this looks too easy. Carson. Klay Thompson, 2.5.
Threes, yes, over.
I'm with you. Paul.
Over. Agree.
Sis.
Yeah, over.
And Kurt.
Over.
Yeah, I think this one's I got circled as he's going to shoot threes. It's not where he's not going to shoot the ball. It's like all you need is him to hit 3 of them, and that could be in the first quarter, and that's done.
Yeah.
I think that's one prop bet I got circled, and another one I got circled is Steph Curry having a monster game tonight. So because I think the other guys aren't going to really do much behind him. So, all right, let's get prediction on the game tonight. Quick thoughts on the game tonight, Kurt, and then we'll let everybody talk for like 30 seconds what they expect out of tonight's game, and then we'll bring Joey Clams in.
All right.
Let's start with you, Kurt.
This is hard because, if you're asking me tonight, I'm going to go Golden State. I think Golden State's going to win one of the next 2. And I think they have to. I don't think they can get it to where they're down 3-1. And when you look at it, Boston won both games. But you know what? Both of those games, Boston was down by, 14 or 16 points. And they blew their doors off in game 2. I still think Golden State, man, listen, that place is going to be raucous tonight. That place is going to be nuts in Boston. So that's why tonight would scare me a little. I'm still going to take Golden State, though. But Golden State's going to win one of the next 2. But I'll say they win tonight.
Okay, let's go down. Wait, I see it on my screen. I'll go to Paul next.
Yeah, I'm sort of opposite of what Kurt's saying. I think Boston's going to be coming out strong tonight. I think they're going to win tonight. Golden State will get the second game in Boston. So I'm sort of opposite of what Kurt just said. But I think tonight Boston will be up. The crowd will be into it. They'll be behind them 150%. And I think Boston will come out in a tight, close, maybe high-scoring game. But I think Boston's going to wind up winning tonight, and then Golden State will come back and win Game 4.
Let's go to Sis.
You guys last week all said the home team is the thing, so I really don't understand Kurt's pick. But anyway, I think the Celtics win.
You got me, sis. You got me on that one, sis.
I think Paul nailed it. I'm only playing around with you anyway. I think Paul nailed it, though. The crowd, frenziness. I say Boston by 10 tonight.
And let's get Carson's thoughts on the game tonight.
Yeah, I could really easily see this become a game 1 situation, but the reverse where the Warriors have the lead all the way to the fourth quarter, and then the Celtics turn it up and then barely squeeze past them. So I'm going to go Celtics tonight. I'm going to go Celtics.
Kenny, Eddie Murphy, these playoffs are boring. Every game is a blowout. Warriors will blow them out tonight. Then the Celtics will do the same in Game 4.
Well, Ed, hang around for the next 15 minutes because a sport that hasn't been boring in the playoffs is coming up next. We're going to talk some hockey. But, I agree with Sis, Paul, and Carson. I think the Celtics are going to be very physical tonight. And if this makes any sense, it's going to be a low-scoring game, meaning for the Warriors, when they're used to scoring in the 120s, I think they're going to get around 104 to 108 in that range. And the Celtics are going to win by about 6 points tonight, around 112 to 114, 108-ish, something like that. And I think Jason Tatum's going to be a huge factor in tonight's game. And I know Kurt's pick was because he's a Knicks fan, so we got that's the other
Kenny,
reason.
I'll tell you this. I am
I'm
forever, listen to me, I kept my word on two things. I am forever grateful for you have not heard me bash Chris Middleton since last year, since he beat the Brooklyn Nets. And I'll be honest, I don't hate the Celtics. They did what I wanted them to do, knock Brooklyn out. I could care less if Boston wins. They knocked Brooklyn out.
Hey, Kenny, can I just say one thing
Yep.
before we get off the NBA? I know most of us are Knicks fans, and I know we're going into the hockey segment with Joey Clams, but watching those first two games from Madison Square Garden between the Rangers and Lightning, how I sat there and said, I am so dying to see the Knicks have that kind of loud reaction for
I said that to Kurt, too.
series. I mean, we're dying to have that kind of backing, and it's so frustrating to watch this. I swear, and believe it's been too long, and I've said enough.
I feel you. Anybody else have anything else to add? Basketball tonight. Game starts at 9 p.m. for those who don't know, and I guess they'll see who goes up 2-1. And I hope Eddie's wrong. I hope it's at least a competitive game.
Kenny's
it's not
also
over by the third quarter.
Eddie's asking, are you doing football tonight? I have a Bronco comment I heard today. We are going to do Briggsy Bronco Mania later on, Kenny. So
we've got a little different fun Bronco Mania for everybody.
So
Everybody on the panel tonight, by the way.
Later.
So everybody's going to be involved in Bronco Mania going forward. It's not just going to be Kurt. So I think that's it for NBA this week, boys. I think we'll bring in the man Joey Clams, hockey enthusiast and Rangers fan. And there's the man of the hour, Joey Clams. Welcome.
Hey, Rock, remember what I told you? What'd you tell me? Take her to the zoo.
Hey, Joey.
Joey Clams.
Joey Clams. Before we get to you, I know you have a shout out tonight for Arrangement Salon out of Ledgewood, New Jersey. So I know you want to give a nice shout out to Sharice Williams and Jesse, aka Courtney. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Let me tell you something. They do some job over there. Shanice, anything you want. If you want the Annette Funicello. Hey, sis, remember Annette Funicello? She'll do the
I dated her.
She'll do the Farrah Fawcett. She'll do the Carla Facciolo for Mob Wives. And what's her name there?
Mob Wives.
What's her name? Courtney does the what's it called? The buffoon, the
Buffon.
What's it called? The Buffon.
Buffon.
Yeah, she does the Buffon. Nobody does the Buffon like her. And nobody makes a cheesecake like her. Knock your socks off. And Shanice, I went there. She gave me the John Travolta, Tony Manero from Saturday Night Fever, perfect DA. That's Tommy. That's Tommy Gorgeous's baby doll, a.k.a. Tommy Sun's Out, Guns Out. How you doing? Hey, everybody go there. Go get your hair cut over there. It's beautiful.
Hey, Joe, for the younger audience, and like Carson, our younger guy on the panel, they can do a Kim Kardashian too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody. Everybody. You won your graduation, your proms, anything. They do weddings, or you're stepping out with your girl. You're going to pop the question. Don't do it.
So, Joe, why don't we do this?
Run.
Joey,
run.
Let's do this with you, bud. You're a big Ranger fan. Series is tied 2-2. Give us in a minute to, like a little minute recap of the series so far, and then we're going to throw some questions at you.
Okay. It all started out that, Tampa Bay had a lot of days off. It was rust the first 2 games, but they did get their rest. The Rangers haven't had a rest. Since game 1 of the playoffs, when it started with Pittsburgh, they've been playing every other day. I think the rest is helping Tampa Bay now, and the non-rest is hurting the Rangers. You can see that Tampa Bay's hockey legs are coming back, and that game is getting stronger and better and more flowing. Where the Rangers game is getting sloppy. They're too much on their back end. They're too much on their back legs. When you're skating, you're going backwards in your zone, then you got to stop and start again. It weakens your legs. They're very sloppy with their passes. Game 3, you had a 2-0 lead. You had to you had to put your foot on their throat and don't let them up. You just woke up back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and but I'm still confident that the Rangers will win in 6, but they got to win on the road. You can lose tomorrow night and win game 6 in Tampa, and then come back and win. The series ain't over. Whoever goes up tomorrow, it's still not over. You still got to win 4 games, which is hard. I think they'll be better showing at home, getting that last change because you're at home on the faceoffs. You can match up better that way. They got the bad matchup last night twice, and then on the second time they scored the goal, Tampa Bay put their 4th line on, their checking line out against our finesse line. They beat us up, and they came out again, and they scored the goal. They were more aggressive. We got to get in front of the net. We got to shoot the puck more, or you need traffic. You could see last night, even Ray Ferraro pointed out, they showed a camera view from the goalie from Tampa. He seen the shot coming. There was an open lane. There was no traffic around. You need rebounds, pucks off skates, puck off sticks, tip-ins, off shin guards, looking around. When the goalie's not looking around like that, you give him the view. This ain't Pee Wee hockey. Anybody can stop that. They got to get traffic, and they got to be more aggressive. Somebody's got to step up.
Joe, let's ask you some questions because I know Sis had that question right there for you. Well, let Sis go first. I know I read because Sis and I are together. I know what Sis's question is, and I want Sis to ask you that question right now.
Joey, how you doing?
How you doing, Luca Brasi?
Good, buddy. What Rangers have to step up in Game 5 to win Game 5, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's got to be the superstars that they think they are. Chris Kreider, he's got to show up more than every other game. He scored 52 goals in the regular season. Your name's got to be mentioned all the time. Panarin's got to show up. The defense has got to show up. Trouba is playing sloppy, and you can't take penalties. And Tampa Bay played a smart game yesterday. They were physical, but they weren't over physical. They didn't wind up in the box. When they did, we scored. So the Rangers got to put more pressure, get in front of the net, let Tampa Bay take a penalty, let them take a cross check in front of the net, let them take a tripping penalty. We need them in the box. Chris Kreider's got to step up.
Fair enough. Carson, before you ask I'm going to let you ask Joey a question, but I see you got a hockey jersey on. Who is that?
This is Bertuzzi from the Red Wings, so I'm wearing it.
Nice.
Awesome jersey.
Original 6.
Yeah, there you go.
I seen Mickey Redmond play back in the 70s.
Yeah, he commentates the Red Wings game still, so yeah, he's still rocking it. What's up, Joey? Basically, what's going on? Rangers, they had no problem taking care of the Lightning first 2 games. You just mentioned how they were up 2-0 in Game 3, then the Lightning basically came back and won. Game 4, the Rangers kind of looked like a mess. If the Rangers lose tomorrow, is the series over for the Rangers? Because they got all the momentum going back to Tampa Bay.
No, it's not over yet. It's never over. Never in hockey. It's never over. There's still
It's over.
It's not over until they knock you out.
Gotcha.
But it don't look good.
I think I kind of agree with that, Joe. I mean, I think out of all the major sports, I think hockey has the least home court advantage, in my opinion. Some of the big hockey towns, but a team like Tampa, they won 2 years in a row, but you don't see that enthusiasm from the fans like you do in New York or Carolina, for example. The series before, it was like a ghost town in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's-
once we took the lead, they started heading for the exits.
Yep. So let's go to Paul. You got a question for
Yeah. So,
Clams?
hey, Clams.
How you
Joey.
doing, Paulie? How are you?
Good, good. So, talk about the age versus the maturity of the two teams. Obviously, the Lightning have been there, done that. They've won the last two. You knew there was not going to be any panicking, even though they were down 2 games, even though they were down 2-0 in game 3. Talk about the difference. I know most of the Rangers are fairly young. Is that going to be a big factor moving forward the next, hopefully, 3 games?
You know what? The young guys have been playing good. You need the veterans to step up. Like a Chris Kreider has got to be a leader. If listen, then maybe one of the young kids has got to step up and be a young Mark Messier, be a young Stevie Eisenman, and step up and take it by the horns and show something, because somebody has to do it. Somebody has to. And you know what? He started the second period last night with the young kids out there. They're hungry. You can see they're hungry. They're playing aggressive, but the veterans got to step up. Like Chris Kreider's got to get in front of that. I think it's more, Paul. I think it's the rest factor that they haven't had. They haven't had any day to recruit, and Tampa Bay had that time off. They're hockey ready now. They were rusty in the first 2 games.
Right.
Now the rust turned, and they're ready. They got their hockey mojo back. They're sharp.
Yeah,
I mean, that.
And it's funny that you said that, because watching those first 2 games, I thought to myself, look at that. They had all that time off, but that was a bad thing, I think, because they did get rusty. They didn't have the momentum going in as the Rangers did the first 2 games. Clearly, that's turned.
Yeah,
That changed.
Kurt, I want to ask Joey my question, and then I'll go to you, and then we'll see how much time we have after our 2 questions. But Joe, mine might be a quick one. I'm curious because I know you're a big hockey guy, and I just started really watching hockey a lot in these playoffs. I'm noticing the Lightning winning a lot more faceoffs than the Rangers. Does that make a big difference?
That makes a lot of a difference, especially like if you're on a power play and they win the faceoff. Now they control the puck. They shoot the puck down the ice. They're taking time off the clock. And when you win the faceoff, you're controlling the puck. You're controlling the flow of that play right now. Winning faceoffs is big. You got to win faceoffs. If you win the faceoff battle, most likely you're going to win the game.
So them not winning the faceoffs will have you concerned. Then they need to step up to win
all
more
the
faceoffs.
time. That's a big concern, because you'll see the game, another faceoff you lose, another faceoff. Especially when they got the puck in our zone. Now they're setting up and we're on our back heels all the time. And this guy's getting bombarded.
Gotcha. Kurt.
One thing, Eddie Murphy saying Rangers are going to win in 7, then get swept by Colorado. And Joey Clams, how about those Avalanche, baby? What'd you text me the other day? Pay the player, baby, right?
Pay the player. You're talking about the Quebec Nordiques, right?
Yeah. Well, whatever it is. Ching, ching, ching.
The Avalanche, the redheaded stepbrothers of the Quebec Nordiques.
Well, I'm going to hold off.
Tell your boys out there, and tell them out there that's the Quebec Nordiques.
I'm going to hold off my Avalanche question for next round, but I got one for here, and I'm going to come after Mr. Sis. Not come after Mr. Sis, but Mr. Sis got me a little before, but at home with a home, I'm a big home court, home ice thing. So am I crazy, Joe, to say that the home crowd, Paul said before, games 1 and 2 in the Garden, nuts. Carson said nothing like the Garden. So you know what? Tomorrow night, they are down, right? They are tired. You know what? Can this home crowd, and should this home crowd win this game tomorrow night for the Rangers?
Well, you should hope so. And we're not, we're still tied 2-2. If you went back last week and says you're coming back game 5, tied 2, I would have signed up for it.
But I'm saying the crowd tomorrow night, raucous crowd. I mean, can that crowd alone, and this is crazy because you see it in NBA, can that crowd, I'm not going to say alone, but more than 50% win that game for the Rangers tomorrow night?
Yeah, during the game again. It's there's a lot of old Ranger fans there, blue blood Ranger fans in there, because because back in the day in '94, when the national anthem, you didn't hear it. When you didn't hear John Mamorante, he put the mic up. I don't want to hear the national anthem tomorrow. All I want to hear is "Let's Go Rangers," and I want to hear banging and screaming and everything the whole game. Let's go. We could try it. Listen, we tried so many times. I can tell you we lost. But this crowd will get them going. They'll hear the "Let's Go Rangers" chant. You'll hear the Pop Van Sucks, the whistler, and all that. And then the referee, we'll call his name out a few times when he makes a bad call too. They're going to be crazy going there tomorrow. Listen, we're 2-2. This is game 5 in our house. We got the next 2 out of 3 at the Garden. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just want to say, our boy Scoop is in the waiting room. I see him. We'll be with you in a couple minutes, Ryan. Joe, I got one quick question. Are you and Rudy going to the game?
I don't know if Rudy's going. I'm not going. I'm going to be right here in the penalty box. Last night I was out. I was in Hoboken last night. It was a nice place, but I'm going to be home tomorrow.
But then, you know what? Then the fans don't make a difference. Only if you and Rudy are going, the fans make a difference.
No, they're there. I got a lot. Listen, I got a lot of guys there. I got guys that have been fans, season ticket holders since they were 16, 45 years old. My friend Vinny's there. He's in section 229. He was the original captain of the 416 section up in the Blues.
Does anybody want to ask a Avalanche question to Joe before we get his prediction on the Rangers game?
I'm sorry, Kenny. I just have one more quick question for Joey with the Rangers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Joey, do you see Gallant making any big change going into the game tomorrow?
No, he might maybe mix up a couple of lines in case guys are banged up, but everybody's playing, where they're supposed to be. Just that your lead is like Kreider and Panarin got to step up, and they got to do a better job.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, I got one more.
Avalanche question. I'm going to save my Avalanche question for next week also, because we know they're in the Stanley Cup Finals already. So I'm going to hold off on Stanley Cup questions for next week.
Kenny, can I ask him one real quick?
Yeah, we can all ask one more.
All right, real quick. It's an Avalanche question. And again, I know that it's possibly, I think, another 11 days or 10 days before the Cup final starts. And one thing I didn't know, and I heard this yesterday, that tonight is the NBA Finals. I never knew that they just call it the Stanley Cup Final without an S. I never knew that. And I don't know why that is, but they said that's what it's called, the Stanley Cup Final. But my question is, right now, if you had to think of which way Colorado's going to go, do they go back to Kemper with the goalie, or do they stay with their backup? I mean, he did give up 5 goals in the last game. So what do you think they're going to do? A healthy Kemper or ride the hot hand with the backup, Joe?
They're going to go with Kemper. They think they're confident enough that they can make it up if there's a problem with him between the pipes. They're confident enough. They're going to go with Kemper.
Anybody else want to ask Joey a quick question? Rapid fire. I think we nailed it, Joe. Hey, give us
Great job.
fire the Ranger fans up, Joe, in a minute or less in your closing thoughts.
Okay. Listen, throw your hearts over the wall. We will follow you. Okay? It's us and them. They throw a punch, you throw 2 punches back. There's 2 roads to go. The road to victory or the road to death. Which one you're going to choose? What time is it? Game time. Let's go, Rangers. And one more thing. A kid from my neighborhood, he's a guy now at Carmine. He wrote a book, The 13th Avenue Boys. It's out. So it's out in the bookstores. It's, about stickball, wiffle ball. We're growing up in Brooklyn and Bensonhurst, Dyker Heights on 13th Avenue, flipping baseball cards, getting into trouble, gambling, the whole thing. So check him out.
Guys, one and only Joey Clams with some Rangers and NHL talk for us. Joey, thanks as always for coming on and joining us.
Remember what I told you.
Take her to the zoo, Rock.
Take it to the zoo. Let's get the Rangers in the Stanley Cups, and let's have some fun next week with some Rangers in the Stanley Cup.
How you doing,
Let's
buddy?
go.
Tommy's drinking those beers under in the Celtics tonight.
There you go.
There's a quick one from Joe on the way out.
All right.
The one and only Joey Clams.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Any thoughts on what Joey said, guys? I'm going to be bringing in Mr. scoop and with the inside scoop for baseball.
He's
Kurt
someone who's
Judy-
very knowledgeable. Him and Rudy know a lot of hockey.
Kurt, I'll let you do the usual introduction.
Okay.
Just waiting for Ryan to join.
Yeah, so you are right. And again, Rudy, I got the message today. I believe he had his daughter had some graduation dinner, so he will be back with us next week.
Congratulations to Rudy's daughter.
Yeah.
And there he is, Ryan Scoop Woodhams. What up, Ryan? How are you?
How you doing, Kurt, Kenny, Paul, Sis, and
Hey.
Carson? How are y'all doing tonight?
Good. How are you,
how's it going,
Ryan?
buddy?
Good to see you guys.
Little excitement in the MLB world with a couple manager firings over the past week. So I think Ryan, you
Well,
wanted to
real
start
quick,
with,
Ryan,
okay.
do you have an interest in the Rangers Lightning?
So I do. I'm a Flyers fan, so I root against the Rangers whenever I get the
Okay.
chance.
There you go.
Okay, so we're not going to talk hockey with you at all. So I'm glad we just brought you on for baseball.
Let's just keep Ryan away from Rudy. Let's that could
Yeah.
be just,
yeah, Rudy.
who knows what would happen on the show. We might get thrown off.
Right. So Ryan, I'm going to bring you up. We'll talk some baseball with you for like around the next 15 minutes. I know you want to talk, and that was going to be one of my questions, but I know you want to talk about the managers getting fired. So why don't we start with that, and then
Right.
we'll do a little roundtable with you like we did last week. We'll throw some quick questions at you.
Sounds great. So yeah, obviously, a lot of waves happening on Major League Baseball the last week with the Phillies parting ways with Joe Girardi, and the Angels firing Joe Madden. I'm going to talk about Girardi first, and then I'll talk about Madden after that. So Girardi with the Phillies went 132, 141. He had a 484 win percentage, no playoff berths. And the question that obviously came out after he was replaced with Rob Thompson was it really Girardi's fault, or was he basically a fall guy for more broader organizational failure? The Phillies have had 6 managers since Charlie Manuel's last year in 2013, and arguably their best finish in that span was 82 and 80 last year under Girardi. Girardi, when he was in his previous job with the Yankees, he had a reputation for getting more out of his rosters than their talent would have otherwise suggested. A lot of Yankees fans, including myself, remember that 2013 to 2016 stretch where they were never under 84 wins, despite having regulars that nobody today would really even recognize their names. I just don't see this current roster for the Phillies as significantly above 500 caliber. I look at their rotation is solid, and I look at Harper and JT Realmuto, who, if he's not now, he was very recently one of the best catchers, if not the best catcher in Major League Baseball. But just that lineup, outside of those two guys and the bullpen in particular, it leaves much to be desired for me. Schwarber is the only other regular really putting up considerable power numbers. And I just think the front office had some almost arrogance, believing that they would just bring in all this talent. We all remember the infamous phrase "stupid money," which they haven't really done at a high level as much as they were putting out the feeling that they could do. Moreover than that, their player development recently has just been atrocious. For 4 years between 2016 and 2019, Keith Law, who's a major prospect analyst, this was under Matt Klentak still, but they had 13 players ranked as a top 100 prospect at least once. Of those 13 guys, one player posted a career WAR over 1, and that was Jorge Alfaro, and almost all of that was in one solid defensive year in 2018. 5 of those players have negative career WAR, and 3 of them have not even reached the majors. So they're what was considered their top level minor league talent for almost half a decade has done nothing for them. And Sam Fold and company need to seriously reevaluate their process in terms of player development, in my opinion, before flanking that supplemental free agents buys, before that'll do any significant good for them. Rob Thompson is the takeover interim candidate for them. He's got a history with the Yankees. He was a managerial candidate for them in 2017 after Girardi himself was let go there, before it came down to Hensley Bam Bam Mullins and Aaron Boone, who was ultimately hired and now leads the MLB best 40 and 15 Yankees. I had to throw that in there.
Ryan, real quick, Ryan, I got to interrupt you for 1 second because I think Kenny Ryan started World War III. Joey Clams listening just shot this text to me. I hate the Flyers and their fans more than anything. So Joey Clams is coming. We're gonna have next week. We might have Ryan for hockey. It might be Rangers Flyers now.
Well, Wait until he hears that I'm an Eagles fan. I'm sure his opinion won't improve.
Oh yeah.
Moving down to Joe Madden. This was honestly the more interesting one of the two to me. He was replaced with Phil Nevin, and I'll speak about that in a second. Madden, in his time with Anaheim, went 157 and 172, win percentage just under 480. Anaheim had been on a 12-game losing streak after they had finally looked like a legitimate AL contender with a much improved roster. Trout, Ohtani, Rendon, Patrick Sandoval, Thor, among others. This losing streak obviously culminated in the dismissal of Madden, but it was clear not long after the firing happened that he was on a ticking clock. There was an ESPN article that came out that said before the season, an Angels source had said the only way that he would continue is if they make the playoffs. Short of that, he's gone. That's a direct quote from the article. There's been some rumblings about his obstinance to analytical information. There was him leaking the idea of a Trout positional switch to the media before Trout was ever spoken to himself. He actually learned about it on Twitter, which was obviously not a good look. There was the infamous Corey Seager intentional walk versus Texas. So it was very apparent that this 12-game skid gave them more of a reason to make a move that they had already long been considering, rather than being a rash reaction to recent lack of success, and that it was for factors extending far away from the on-field play. Like it or not, in this day and age, managers have to balance the flow of the game with input of complex data and information from all different people and areas. In addition to being managers of many different complex personalities and egos, it's just a different role than it was in the heyday of Lou Piniella, Bobby Cox, Tony La Russa, and Joe Torre. As for Phil Nevin, who's taking over in the interim, I really like the hire. I was a fan of him on the Yankees coaching staff. He was kind of the bad cop under Aaron Boone. He had a lot of influence and intensity that I think will translate well for a team that has seemingly lost its way in the last couple of weeks. Whether this leads to a permanent role for him is to be determined, but I think in the interim, it's a good move.
Okay, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Fair enough. Ryan, I'm going to ask you one question about the managers, and then I'm going to let the guys, we're going to go around the league with you. My question would be, who do you think now has the better chance, Phil Nevin or Rob Thompson, of maybe turning the team around and, I don't want to necessarily say contend, but maybe make enough noise where management's ownership says, hey, let's hire this guy for next year. He did a pretty good job with us.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I definitely think that for me, my perspective, that's in Anaheim, that's Phil Nevin. I think he's got more to work with in terms of talent. I like that. I think that personality-wise, I think he's a good fit for that roster right now and for that clubhouse. I think that the last 12 games is just not representative of what I think the talent level on that roster is. As I said, I think that there's a lot more organizational dysfunction with the Phillies than there is with Anaheim right now. So I think that if I had to guess between now and the end of the year, I think that Nevin will have more success and in turn will be more likely to keep his job long term than I would say Rob Thompson has the chance right now. I think that Rob Thompson, I have a lot of respect for him. I thought that he was good in in New York rather under Joe Girardi. I just think that he's got a more uphill battle right now in terms of trying to accomplish that.
Gotcha. I want to go to Sis. I know he's got the Yankee question. So I'll go to Sis first to ask his Yankee question.
Yeah, Big Right. Should the Yankees think about trading Andujar? Yes or no?
I think you have to at this point. It came out last week that he's requested a trade, and it's not the first time. And he's just, whenever he's been a regular on the team, he's just not contributing in a way that justifies keeping him in the lineup over some of the other guys that they have. Yeah, it's part of it wasn't his fault. I mean, the team just got really deep and really quality players, and that left it harder for him to get on the field. However, when he was on the field and did get those opportunities, he didn't consistently do a ton with them. So I think that's I think it's unfortunate, similar to what I said about Clint Frazier, but I just think a change in scenery is what's best for him right now.
I got another. Excuse me, Kenny. I got another one for you. Oh, Ryan. Do the Mets need more bullpen arms to be considered World Series contenders, I guess, if you want to say that?
Not to be considered contenders, but if they want to put themselves in a position to really put the pedal to the metal, as they say, and really establish themselves as the team to beat, in my opinion, you're never going to see a team that says we don't need as much bullpen help as we have. There's always going to be teams that need more bullpen help. But I think that if they want to increase their depth, the other thing too is when they bring back, pardon me, when they bring back Scherzer and DeGrom off of injury, and those guys are regular performers for the team again. A couple of those guys who have been making starts are probably going to shift into the bullpen as well. But I still think that they could do well for themselves to go out and get someone off the relief market. Now we don't know who that'll be because we don't know who some of those guys are going to be. It's a little too early to see what that market's going to actually look like with specific names. But I would definitely recommend them going out and getting one or two arms. I think that you're not going to hurt yourself at least by doing so.
Thank you, sir.
Let's give Carson the floor.
Hey, Ryan, hope you're well, man.
How you doing, my Spartan friend?
Yeah, what's up? There was a lot of off-season re-signings and signings, a lot of players finding out new contracts with different teams. Based on what you've seen so far this year, who would you say is the best free agent signing or re-signing, and who would be the worst decision for them to re-sign and add to their teams?
I got you. So this might be a little bit biased, or it might come off a little bit biased. It's not intended to. That being said, I think the Anthony Rizzo re-signing with the Yankees has to be up there. But I'm going to add this to it, not just because of what he's done, but because so many people were saying, no, they should go get Matt Olson. No, they should go get Freddie Freeman. And at least in the first 6 weeks of the season, Rizzo was outperforming both of those guys. So I think that kudos to Cashman and to an extent Hal Steinbrenner for looking at this and saying, you know what, we're not going to listen to the noise. We don't need to go and get the biggest name out there. We're going to trust that we know that this guy was good for our culture and good for our locker room on top of what he can do on the field. And we're going to rock. We're going to rock with that. I respect that a lot. So I would definitely say he would be the first one that comes to my mind on that. In terms of someone who I think hasn't had the impact that I would have expected, that's a tough one because there's honestly been a couple of players that signed this offseason, especially offensively, that haven't had the impact that I would have expected. Mm-hmm. I could probably put Javi Baez on that list. I think a lot of people. What? I think a lot of people.
It's funny because he was a big signing for us, and everybody was like, "Oh man, Baez is coming to Detroit." But there was a lot of guys that were saying, "Oh, well, he strikes out a lot." Yeah. And, he was off to a hot start, but the bat has definitely been questionable.
I promise you, bro, I did not say that because you're a Tigers fan. That was not the intent there. That being said, but again, I've not historically been a Baez fan. I thought that he doesn't have good plate discipline. I'm not a fan of his approach by any stretch. I know that he's a good defender and can be valuable at different positions. But offensively, he's not my cup of tea. And this year, he's just having a brutal offensive year. He's about 40% under what you would expect, what you would consider offense or league average offense right now. And he's actually walking at one of his worst clips, and he's never been one to take many walks to begin with. So that would be one that I would consider probably, if not the worst, then definitely among the worst in terms of acquisitions this offseason. But, there's still time for him to turn it around.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with you.
Thanks, Kenny. Ryan, my question is this. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about two of the greatest current players, Miggy Cabrera and Albert Pujols. And just read a recent quote by Manny Machado, actually, who was basically calling BS because he felt that Albert Pujols should be getting last go-round, last farewell tour, sort of a la Derek Jeter, because of the great player that he's been for all these years. What do you think of that? And do you think teams should be sort of going out and showing the respect that Albert Pujols, who clearly will be a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, when he retires after 5 years?
So I'll put it this way. I can see where Miggy's coming from. However, I think that the comparison is not 100% accurate. Jeter, I think, was a productive player, not necessarily right up to the very end, but very close to the end. It's been almost a decade now since Pujols was a consistently above average offensive performer in Major League Baseball. So I think that I completely agree that he deserves the respect of what he's done in his career, but I think that because there's been so much time, I think he almost got a little bit of a Carmelo Anthony type situation where he's so far removed now from what he was doing at a high level that I think people almost forget how good he was in St. Louis because his tenure in Anaheim was just so not consistent with what he had, with the name he had made for himself in St. Louis. And because he made that name for himself in St. Louis as opposed to Anaheim, I think that's hurting him a little bit. I absolutely think he deserves a ton of respect. I think that he has a lot of he did a lot within the game, both offensively and culturally. But I think to say that it's just because this guy was a Yankee, so he's he's treated differently. I think that there's a little more nuance to it, but I do think I can see where he's coming from with that argument.
Good answer. Thank you.
Sure. And then I got a quick hitter to wrap it up when we're done with Ryan. I got one for everybody.
Okay. Ryan, again, thank you so much for coming on. We always appreciate your baseball knowledge.
Always a great turn, Kurt. Thank you.
And I heard this the other day on the K Show. I think it was the K Show. It was either the K or with Carton and Roberts. But it's a great question. And then when I looked into it, I'm going to add to it. And again, I'm going to give props to Aaron Judge, right, Kenny? Because I'm probably the biggest Aaron Judge critic. But you know what? Listen, he's shutting everybody up. He's doing his job. And he should now he's finally the favorite to win AL MVP. But my question is, especially the third choice, all right? Mike Trout. Like, no one's going to knock how talented the guy is, but he's now third. He's 7-1. Ohtani's second, plus 390. But Trout's batting 284, 14 home runs, 30 RBIs. Ohtani, 11 home runs, batting 242. Okay, well, he pitches, but he also has almost a 4 ERA. What is the love affair? And these guys are coming off a 12 losses in a row where they're now 27 and 30. What is the love affair where it's like they're second and third for MVP voting? Like, I don't know. To me, it's just Trout never wins. And I know he's talented, but to be second and third, what's your thoughts? And do you agree that they should be the second and third choice right now for MVP in the AL?
So I mentioned this, I believe it was last episode that I was on. There's such a dichotomy among the writers right now. I don't know if it's split down the sort of, more new age writers and some of the more traditional minded writers, or if that's the split or not. But there's definitely a dichotomy right now with the writers in terms of whether MVP is the best player in the league or the most valuable, contributing the most valuable to their team in the league. I think if you look at most valuable, I think it's hard to argue against Aaron Judge being that pick because without Aaron Judge, this team is not 40-15 right now. As opposed to, a Cleveland, let's say, with Jose Ramirez, who I'm a huge fan of. Now, in terms of Trout and Ohtani, I think Ohtani is always going to get a boost because he does perform very well, better than we've ever seen, except for Babe Ruth, on both sides of the ball. However, I do agree that, performing decently above average on two sides of the ball, as opposed to being elite on, in doing a thing as a hitter, for example, that's something that I think voters are still trying to reckon with because, again, there's no precedent for that. In terms of Trout, now Trout obviously just went down with this injury the last couple of days. I hope he gets back soon. I really hate when anybody gets injured, but particularly him, just because, again, he's a talent like few of us have ever seen. But I think that Trout is one of those players who his name's always going to be in the mix, but I don't think it's just off his name. I mean, if you look at offensive numbers right now in Major League Baseball, he's still right up there among the top three in the American League in stats like weighted runs created plus or weighted on base average. So I don't think it's necessarily that it's just happening off of name or some sort of a love affair by the voters. He is legitimately performing at that level, and he's performing well on defense too, which I appreciate because I feel like sometimes defense just gets overlooked at times in this day and age. But I do agree with you that I think Judge is the number one right now, but and that Trout, if I had to, would probably be either my 2 or my 3. I think that Ohtani's a little higher than I would have him in those rankings, but it's also hard for me to knock it too much because, again, we have not seen a guy pitching with an ERA in the 3s while also hitting almost 300. He's always going to be in the conversation just because of that anomaly.
Good point.
I got one quick hitter for everybody. I'll do it in the order I see my screen. For those who don't know, I'm sure we all know, the umpires in the Dodgers-Mets game missed the rule. And Dave Roberts, the manager, also missed the rule. It took Buck Showalter to explain what the rule was. And it was ninth inning. If you're down by 5 runs, by less, I think if you got to be up by more than 5 runs to bring a position player in to pitch. And the Dodgers wanted to bring a position player in. Yeah, kind of a stupid rule. But the question I have is going to revolve around the umpires. As a fan, guys, and I'll start with Kurt, does it bother you as a fan that Major League umpires miss calls that are obvious, have bad strike zones, and now miss rules? Does it bother you as a fan seeing that more and more these days?
Kenny, I'll just say this. I mean, you're talking about baseball, but yeah, I mean, I can go NFL. I mean, you watch these games, and all you keep hearing is, the NFL apologizes. They had the wrong rule. It's happening all over, and it's yeah. I think it's a bad look. I really do, because you're on the professional level. Like, not that something could slide, but like you're saying, they were showing clips on Twitter today. I forgot what game it was. Like, the umpire's calling a foul ball because the catcher missed the ball. Like, the ball wasn't even nowhere near hit. And, foul ball. It's bad. But all sports, Kenny, not just baseball, all sports.
Paul, what were your thoughts on the Major League umpires and professional, refs, however you want to.
Yeah, I totally agree with Kurt. I mean, my first thought when I heard the question was not even just baseball, it's also all sports, especially football. I mean, how many games have we seen been decided by a bad, horrible call by a referee or an umpire? I mean, Carson, how about the game that your guy threw, or should have been a perfect game, and the umpire at first base missed that call?
Yeah, I mean, still hurts this day.
Right, yeah, one of the worst calls of all time. So yeah, it's a terrible situation.
Yep. And Sis, what are your thoughts on the umpiring?
Well, first of all, again, they are human beings. I get it, but like Kurt and Paul said, I agree with them. It's ridiculous, and guess what? It's not going to change anytime soon.
Good point.
Right, Carson.
Yeah, Paul just kind of took what I was going to say. I get that these refs and umpires, they make mistakes. But, with the whole Armando Galarraga thing was one of the main reasons why they now have instant replay. I mean, he's the first ever pitcher to throw a 28-out perfect game, and that will never, ever be done ever again. And, these umpires, I know they're human sometimes, but you talk about some of the calls that are just completely, blatantly, obviously missed. It really frustrates you. I know it can go both ways, whether it goes in your favor or against your favor, but especially me being a Lions fan, I have had the worst of it with refs in my life.
God help you, brother.
Yeah.
And Scoop, how about you? What are your thoughts on the officiating?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because we talk so much about ball strike calls and the whole conversation about like robot umpires and things like that. That I think so much of this other stuff gets missed in terms of the other areas where they can affect the game. I personally was not aware of the 6-run rule. I have to be honest about that. So I had to research the controversy a little bit. but it's just you have. But this is what I think is worse for Major League Baseball. So I just pulled up an article real quick just because I wanted to have my facts straight. It says, nevertheless, the umpires convened before crew chief C.B. Buckner announced McKinstry could not pitch. It's the same 3 or 4 people you're hearing about so often. Angel Hernandez, C.B. Buckner. Like it's that is what I think is almost worse. You have commentators, you have analysts of the game, commentators who've been doing this for 40 years, saying, "Oh, this guy's getting it. This guy's umpiring the game tonight. This is going to be interesting." It's ubiquitous. Everyone understands that there are these certain people who are just notorious more for missing calls than anything else, or for blowing calls than anything else. It boggles my mind when you hear people who are doing commentary of games and who have been doing so for 30, 40 years or 20, 30 years, and even they're saying, "Oh, this is going to be interesting. It's a Buckner game. It's a Hernandez game." Like, how does that not translate with the people who are making these decisions and putting these people on the field?
Kenny,
you stole my thunder. And Paul, I'll get to you in 1 second. What bothers me to add to that is these guys that you mentioned, C.D. Buckner, Hernandez, Joe West, I'll add another name.
Joe West, yep.
They get the playoff games and they get the World Series. And these are supposed to be the best of the best. And they're getting voted in to umpire these games and referee these games and Super Bowls and stuff like that. And this is what Hernandez gets every big game. Every big game you see Angel Hernandez umpire. And you always see a messed up call from him. Whether it's a strike zone or a missed call, you always see something. And what happens? You got a job. You always mess up, you're getting fired or you're going to get written up.
You took the words right out of my mouth,
Kenny. Send them down to the minors. And maybe you're not meant to be an umpire or a referee. Send them down. That's how I feel. Boy, you want to say something real quick before we get Ryan's final thoughts.
Yeah, no, you stole my thunder. Angel Hernandez has been the worst umpire for years and decades, and it's amazing how he still has a job. It's just amazing. And in any other profession, he would have been out a long time ago. It's just amazing how he still was able to retain his job after all these years.
Yeah. Ryan, you want to give us some final thoughts of the upcoming week and before we say next week?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to, there's a game going on tonight for New York against the Twins, trying to make it 8 in a row. I know that the Mets are, pardon me, in an interesting stretch right now. They are, we talked about that series against the Dodgers. Now they're playing the Padres, and then they'll go into Anaheim. That'll be the first full series for Phil Nevin as the manager there. So that'll be exciting to watch. So I'll be looking forward to that series in particular, seeing the Mets and how they come off of a very tough team against the Padres, and how Phil Nevin does in his first sort of full series with the Angels as their manager, and if they'll be able to break that losing streak at some point, because it continued last night even after after Joe Madden was fired. So I'll be looking forward to that as well. And I know I'm the baseball guy, but NBA wise, I'm also looking forward to seeing what happens in the Celtics Warriors game tonight.
Me too, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan.
This week. We always
Ryan.
look forward to hearing you.
Ryan, always a pleasure.
Ryan Woodham, Inside Scoop on the K&K Sports Show. Ryan, we'll catch up with you and see you next time.
Thank y'all very much. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next week.
Sounds good,
Thanks,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Kenny, real quick, I didn't want to interrupt the baseball talk, so there's a couple comments. I'm just going to read them real quick, okay? Eddie Murphy, DeGrom will be better off in the bullpen unless he changes how he pitches, because throwing 100 miles an hour every inning is hurting him. Then he was talking about Ohtani and Trout. Crapped the bed when they came to the Bronx. 2 for 22 combined, and Ohtani got rocked again by the Yankees. Coach Breslin saying, "What's up, guys? What's up, Coach?"
Hey,
Coach, what's up? Congratulations again on good luck over in Demarest this year.
Eddie
running the defense over there.
Eddie Murphy, position players pitching is a joke, and also in MLB you can't challenge a call on the infield, but outfield you can. It makes no sense. Our good friend Keith Brugman drives me nuts that billion-dollar league spend pennies on officiating. Eddie Murphy then is throwing out Johan Santana, saying Johan's no-hitter or no hitter perfect. It's a perfect example of blowing calls. And Eddie Murphy saying Hernandez must have dirt on Manfred.
Just a heads up, got some bad weather here in Maryland. We got a tornado warning until 9:15. Sis.
Oh wow!
So if you see me and Sis off the air for some reason, Kurt, we're caught in a tornado and there's no place like home in Kansas.
I hope you have a basement.
Get Sis ruby red slippers to put on.
Coach Breslin, Kenny. Coach Breslin.
Don't run
saying,
away, Kenny. I won't.
Coach Breslin, Coach Sis, you'll like this one. Coach Breslin, thanks so much. Looking forward to helping Nick as much as I can.
Yep, I talked to Gutso the other day.
Awesome.
Well, that was good. We had some hockey, some basketball, and some baseball. We got a couple little segments to end the show tonight. We'll start with Paul's roundtable. We didn't get to it last week. He was having some internet issues, but he's got a fun little game for us, and I'll let him explain the game. And then after that, Kurt's got a little fun Bronco Mania for the four of us.
Okay.
We'll
Thanks,
and the
Kenny.
audience as well. The audience will play along as well.
By the way,
Thanks.
Paul, if you're having internet problems, I'm going to be honest. You should go to the guy in the Alabama hat because Sis, right, Sis, you're tech savvy, Sis.
I'll straighten it all out for you, Paul.
Yeah, 1,
Not
2,
a problem.
3.
That's a good tip. Thank you, Kurt.
You're welcome.
I'll give you my email address later.
So we're going to play a game called Nicknames, and I have baseball nicknames, football nicknames, and basketball nicknames. And I'm going to give you either the nickname or the regular name of the person, and you're going to give me the nickname. So, for example, if I tell you George Herman Ruth, who would you say the name would be?
The nickname would be
Babe.
Right. Okay. But if I said to you, the nickname is Magic, or the name is Urban Johnson, you would tell me it's Magic, right? Okay. So let's play. I'll do Kurt, Sis, Carson, and then Kenny, and I'll ask you which sport you want to do.
Okay.
And let's play to say 7. The first who gets 7.
Oh, we might not have that much time.
Okay, so
we'll go as long as we can. We'll go as long as
Okay.
we can, and I'll tell you when we got one more round.
Okay. All right. So Kurt, you want baseball, football, or basketball?
Football.
All right. We'll start with an easy one. Who is the sheriff?
Mr. Manning. Peyton Manning.
All right. Sis,
Football.
football. All right. We'll start off with an easy one for you, Mr. Sis. Who is known as Sweetness?
Mr. Walter Payton, best running back
Okay.
ever in the NFL.
All right.
Very sad.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Carson, baseball, football, or basketball?
Let's do basketball.
All right. Who was the captain?
Oh, the captain. I feel like that's an old school name.
Maybe that's a little disadvantage
It
to.
is. It's disadvantage, Carson.
Might
All
have
right.
to give Carson more of a recent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me give you. All right. I'll give you a more recent one.
Okay.
He was known as the answer.
I think I know it.
'Cause I know the truth was Paul Pierce. The answer. I'm not sure.
Okay. Kenny, you want to take it?
That's just,
He don't know.
I don't know.
No. All
I
right.
know
I'll
it.
tell you. Kurt, you know it?
I think it's Allen Iverson.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not good with some.
All right.
certain
Let's start.
sports.
Let's go back to Kenny. Kenny.
I'll go baseball.
Okay. We'll do an easy one. Who was known as the Bird?
The bird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so easy, man.
Kenny.
I'm not good on nicknames.
You call yourself a sports fan? Terrible.
Baseball.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint. He pitched for Detroit.
All right. All right.
Carson, you want to take it?
Mark Bidrich.
Yes. All right. We'll
He
give
better
Carson
go
one.
back to school and start with
All
the
right.
ABCs.
Kurt.
I'll go basketball, Paul.
Basketball? Okay. Who? All right. I'm going to give you the name Elvin Hayes. What was his nickname?
I don't know it.
Oh, sis.
Kurt, come on, Kurt.
I don't know it. A little older for me. I don't know. I know him, Elvin Hayes. I don't know the nickname.
Sis is on fire with this one, man. He already got Bidrich.
What was it?
Sis, you know?
No, I honestly don't know this one. Sorry.
The Big E, Elvin Hayes, one of the great players, one of the top 75 players of all time.
Matt
All right.
Matt Staffiero saying, "Evening, gents. What's going on?"
What up,
Evening,
Matt?
Hey, Matt.
All right. Sis, baseball, football,
Sure.
basketball.
Volleyball.
Wow.
No, go baseball.
Baseball? All right. I'm going to give you an easy one. Who was the Say Hey Kid?
That's too easy. Willie Mays.
Okay.
Matt Staffiero is saying,
Ken,
real
did
quick.
you know that?
That one I knew.
Matt Staffiero, and I echo this, stoked about the Walton purchase for the Broncos. $60 billion man. Love it.
Carson?
Let's do baseball.
Okay. All right. You have to know this. Who was the Sandman?
Oh, damn. The Sandman. I should know this.
Probably you might not because it's still you're a Tiger fan. For Yankee fans, Yankee Carson, a Yankee.
The Sandman, Yankee.
Retired.
The best ever. The best ever.
Yeah.
The best
You're gonna let him
ever.
get
Yeah.
there. Best
Yeah.
ever in
In
his
his
position.
position, the best ever.
In his-
It's not debatable.
All right.
Maggio?
No, retired
No.
recently. Only a few years.
Hall
ago.
of Famer.
Oh, Mariano Rivera.
Mariano.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Matt
All right.
Staffiero and Matt and Keith, I want you guys, if you could hang on, because we're doing Briggsy Bronco Mania a little bit, and that's Kenny came up with a real good one, but Matt's saying never have to worry about the cap again, baby, with the smiling face.
Yeah. That's what I wrote to you.
That's
Kurt.
it. That's it.
Okay, Kenny, you're next.
Let's go baseball again.
Baseball. All right. Let's do. Who was the Yankee Clipper?
Joe D.
All right. You're
Gave
on.
me an easy one. It gave me.
I know. Kurt,
Like,
gave me batting
football,
practice.
Paul.
football. All right. Let's see. The Minister of Defense. And his name is, and I've mentioned this, his name has been in the paper, in the news.
I should know this.
Retired.
Yes. Very retired.
I'm shocked I don't know this. It's not Reggie White.
Yes.
It is?
Reggie White. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a minister. That's right.
That was a good guess.
After Aaron Donald just got that big contract.
Yep.
All right, sis, you're next.
Football.
All right. Who was? I'm going to give you the name. Thomas Johnson. What was his name?
Thomas Johnson?
Yeah.
Did he have another name?
Yeah.
How far back you going? Give me that.
Not too far back.
Thomas Johnson.
You want me to tell you the team?
Billy White Shoes Johnson?
No. You want me to tell you the team?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Giants.
I don't know that one either.
I don't know. Don't know it.
Man,
Carson, you
got us
want to?
stumped here.
No, I don't know either.
Who was
Kenny?
it?
I don't got to guess. I'm stumped.
Pepper Johnson.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's a hard one, man. What are you kidding?
All right.
Might have to come to Florida, slap you around a little bit.
Carson.
Football.
All right. I'll do an easy.
Carson's got the Ohio State jersey on tonight.
All right.
It's a nice jersey.
I'll do an easy one for Carson.
Okay.
You have to know. Well, I was gonna say might know this, but who was the snake?
Oh, that's too easy. Come on.
I know that one.
If he doesn't know this, I might come to Detroit.
But
and
it's
get
not.
him a-
Carson's so
What's
young
up, Carson?
now.
I'm going to give him a hint. Left-handed quarterback, Carson, old school.
Played for the Raiders.
You might not know it.
The snake, left-handed quarterback for the
Yes,
Raiders.
sir. You got it.
Hall of
kid.
Fame quarterback.
Come on, Carson.
Oh man, I can see his face. I can't think of his name. though.
Number 12.
Number 12.
Shares the first name with somebody on the panel.
There you go. There you good one. Good one.
Damn.
And he went to a famous school that one of our panelists is very familiar with.
Absolutely, baby.
Hey, Eddie Murphy is throwing shade at all of us. He said Carson's more than half of all your ages.
I know.
Oh,
I'm going to try to
Jesus.
help that. You
We
might not
know
notice
that, Eddie.
Kenny Stabler, Carson.
No idea.
We
Oh.
still love you, Carson. It's all
Yeah.
good.
All right. Let me give Carson another one.
Give
Yes.
Carson another one, and then let's do one more round after me.
Okay.
Paul, and then
Carson.
whoever's at the top of the list, we'll let
Okay.
them fight for the win.
Carson,
Okay.
your next guest, who was known as Megatron.
Oh yeah, that's like in the sleep. Calvin Johnson.
All right.
Yeah, boy.
There you go. All right. Kenny,
Let's go football this time.
football. Football. Let's go with who is known as the Honey Badger.
Tyron Matthew.
Yep. All right. All right. One more round.
Oh, wait a minute. You know
Who
what?
we got as a score, though?
Okay. Carson, Kurt, and Kenny are tied with 3. So let's be the tiebreaker.
By the way, Keith was making a great point. When you said the snake, he said, would Jake Plummer get half a point? Because he was Jake the Snake Plummer, too.
That's true. It could be. Yeah.
Could be.
Good. That would have been a proper guess also. All right. Last round.
Why don't we do the last round different? Why don't you give us a name, and we'll all have it on paper. We'll just do an honor system. We'll say if we had it or not, or in our heads. We'll just do an honor system. Give us like 10 seconds. Not 10 seconds. Give us 15 seconds to think of the name.
Okay.
We'll do like Jeopardy. We'll all do
right.
it in our heads or on paper and just be the honor system.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
Give me
first of all, who's in the lead here with this?
Kurt, Carson, and Kenny have 3 each. You have 2.
Carson and Kenny have more than I do? Are you kidding me? There's no way that's legit. But anyway.
Hey, sis, you know what's happening? Paul's asking the question. He's using Kenny's math. You know how that works.
Sis, how old are we here?
Kenny's
10
funny,
years old?
fuzzy math.
Yeah. Really? Shocking.
All right, sis, pick the sport.
Football.
Football? All right.
So we're writing this down. We're not going to blurb it out.
Write it
Yeah.
down or in our head. We'll do honor system, whatever's on your head.
Okay.
Okay.
15 seconds to think of your answer.
All right. I'm trying to think of one that everybody, including Carson, would get.
Well, if you got one in a different sport, then give us a different sport there, Paul. You don't have one for football.
Okay. Everyone should know this. Who was the round mound of rebound?
Okay.
Round mound of rebound.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Is everyone finished?
Yeah.
Do, 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 do. Pens down.
I'll let Kurt go first.
Kurt.
I got Charles Barkley.
Yes. Sis.
No, I didn't have Charles Barkley. No.
Carson.
Nah, yeah, I was thinking of Rodman.
Okay, he was the worm.
The worm, yeah.
And I knew I was
crazy.
wrong. I knew I was wrong. So Kurt won. I had
I
Shaq.
thought it was Shaq.
All right, Kurt, you are the winner.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Kurt.
That was fun, Paul.
That was
Fun.
How do I appeal to this?
You know what,
Protest.
sis?
You
Go
gotta put in
back
a
to
protest.
protest here.
Sis, my
judge is
suggestion.
exploring this.
Wait, sis, my suggestion is I think you need to appeal to Angel Hernandez and C.V. Buckner.
Yeah. How that's gonna go.
That's who Paul is. Paul's referee and like Hernandez over there. I ain't complaining. So, guys, we've got a couple minutes left. It's 9 o'clock. We'll go just a couple more minutes. We'll do a quick Bronco Mania for our boy Briggsy. I came up with a good one that's going to involve all of us. Kurt's going to host it and run it. So, Kurt, take it away.
All right. So Kenny made a great point. He said I have a lot of Bronco jerseys. So he wants me to put Keith is saying he liked that game, Paul.
Yeah, it was
so
fun.
Kenny wants me to put my top 10 jerseys of my favorite jerseys in order. I actually have 11, Kenny. Is that okay?
Players. We're not going to do colors.
Yeah,
but
players.
I'm going to keep score. You'll get a bonus point if you get the color right.
Okay.
So you'll get a bonus point for the right color.
Okay. So we're just
Kurt,
going to
you
rattle
could do
off?
the order. You could do the order how you want to do it.
All right. So I'm just going to call out, I'll say Carson, right? And then Carson will tell me the player?
Is it including college players too?
No, just Bronco jerseys.
And if you get one wrong, you're out of it.
So it has to be in the top 10.
It has to be in my top 11. Yeah, I did 11.
Oh, okay.
You did 11, and if you get the color right, you'll get a bonus point.
Okay.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Elway.
Number 1, Kenny.
And what color?
Orange?
Nope.
No? Okay, so it's 1 point for Carson. You're still in the game.
Okay. I'm going to go Sis.
Definitely Peyton Manning.
Number 2.
What color, sis?
I'm going to say white.
I went orange.
No, I said orange, not white.
And what was yours on Elway? The blue one?
The blue one. Eddie Murphy had it.
Blue, yeah. Damn.
Okay. So there's 9 left.
9 left. We'll go Paul.
Terrell Davis.
Number 5.
What color? You still get a point. It's just as long as it's on the list.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say the blue jersey.
Blue.
Paul gets a bonus point.
Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Shannon Sharp's got to be on that list.
Number 6.
You got to have a white jersey on there, so I'm going to go white.
No, orange.
No?
Old school orange. All right, back to Carson.
I don't know if you have one yet, but you're going to have it this year, Russell Wilson.
Number 3, baby. Number 3 on. I've waited so long for this, Carson. I had to put it number 3. I didn't even wear it yet. It's actually in Rutherford Park Clean and getting tailored right now.
Nice.
Ahead,
Orange?
Give us the orange, Kurt.
I had blue. I have a blue and orange.
Wow.
So I wrote down blue.
Tailored.
Yeah, they're big. Sis.
Terrell Davis.
We said him.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. The linebacker, number 77. I can't think of his last name.
Mecklenburg?
Yes.
No.
He didn't make the list.
Wow. I don't have one. I don't have one.
I thought I saw one in your closet. I'm sorry.
Paul.
It's one X for you, sis. You're still alive.
Patrick Surtain.
No, I can't find that jersey.
Oh,
I can't find it. But listen, I got a connection now. I called the Broncos store itself. They ship them. It's $25 more, but I can go get it from there. But I can't get it online. So,
I was looking at a site today. I'll text it to you later.
Send it to me.
You could get any jersey for $32.
Send it to me.
I will.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
I'm gonna say Tim Tebow's on that.
I put Tebow 11. I don't want to read comments because they're giving some answers away, but I'm gonna go Tebow, number 11.
And blue.
Yeah, blue. Yep.
Get the bonus point. Let's do one more round, Kurt, and then you can read the audience ones to see if they nailed them.
All right, Carson.
Von Miller.
Number 4.
Orange.
Perfect.
Nice.
Ooh, it's getting tough now. How many are left on the list, by the way?
4.
Read us who we got so we don't repeat.
Elway, Manning, Russell Wilson, Von Miller, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp, Tim Tebow.
Okay.
So Carson went, so Sis is up.
Eddie McCafferty.
No, I just got that, and I didn't put that on the list, but Jen's parents got that for me for last year, the orange one.
Right.
But that's a good guess.
That should count then. I should be good for that.
Not on my top 10. Paul.
Demaryius Thomas.
It's not on my top 10.
Wow.
But it's on my list, but not on top 10. Kenny.
It's going to come down to me getting one on your list, or if Carson pulling off the big upset. Somebody who's known you for 40 years, or the guy who's known you for the least amount of time on here. 20 to 1 underdog, or the even money favorite here. Do I go with a new player or an old player? I'm going to go old school. Steve Atwater.
Number 10.
Wait, it's not over yet. If I get the color, I win. If not, we go to sudden death.
Okay.
Blue.
White.
Oh.
Oh man.
So here we go. We got 3 left.
Current player, retired player. Give Carson some kind of hint.
They're all retired players.
Offense, defense.
They're all defensive players.
Lyle Alzado.
Nope.
Paul Sis can help Carson if they want.
Yeah, old school Broncos defense. I'm not going to be able to.
I'll let Paul and Sis play along with Carson to try and beat me, because I got to guess, but it's not my turn.
And they're all defense?
All defense.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
Well,
can I guess?
Both of you give Carson your answers, and Carson will get to pick who he wants to go with.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Champ Bailey.
Bailey.
Okay.
Champ Bailey. We both said the same thing.
Yeah, that was probably Kenny's too. Yeah.
Yeah, give him the color. Give him the color for the bonus.
I got another one.
Blue.
What color are you going with, Carson?
Blue.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, now I get a shot here. One
You
of the
get a
last
shot.
two is DeMarcus. The only thing I can think of is DeMarcus Ware.
Nope.
Champ Bailey was mine. Carson pulled off the upset.
You ready for my 2?
Wow.
You ready for my 2?
Anybody in the audience get it?
Keith made a great point, a great one, but I didn't have that on there. John Lynch.
No.
I got it for you.
Good, just nail it. Good.
Floyd Little.
Nope. I don't have that.
Kidding me?
I don't have that one.
So who are the others?
The others they were both on the first and second Super Bowl winning team. And they're jerseys that I bet you a lot of people don't have. Number 53, Bill Romanowski.
Oh,
okay.
And number 51, and I love this guy. And
Tommy Jackson.
And no.
Oh.
He broke up Mark Chamorro, so we got our first Super Bowl, John Mobley.
John Mobley, that's right. I remember that. I'm surprised Jerry Jeudy wasn't on your list.
You know what? These are Jerry Jeudy. I got a Javonte Williams. I didn't put that on my list yet. a Cortland Sutton. I've been getting a newer jerseys as gift. Bradley Chubb, McCaffrey. I got a couple Cutlers, John Lynch. Like you said, Sanders, DT, Ware. Plummer. I got a Plummer.
How about old
You'll have to break down
Randy?
another wall so you can make another closet for those jerseys.
Carson pulling off the major ups.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me at the beginning of the segment,
Congrats,
I would have.
Carson.
There you go. Thanks.
I got to put $10 on somebody. Carson, you would have been asked first.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nice.
Keith,
Thanks.
Keith is saying John Mobley, was it a breakup or a drop? I just rewatched the game. I don't know. I'm gonna give him a breakup on that. I really am. But I'll never forget watching that and that feeling like that. First off, Denver had 3 defensive backs out of their Atwater knocked out 2 of his own teammates, so he was out. And just they Robinson blitzed everybody. I remember Robinson like, how do I play it? And Shanahan just said, do it like you always do it. He sent the house, boom, and the rest was history.
That's awesome. That was Bronco Mania for this week.
No, that was good.
Definitely. The internet's starting to slow down, by the way, here. No, I want to involve everybody in Bronco Mania, so we'll come up with some fun stuff each week.
Thank you.
For Bronco Mania.
That was good, Kenny. Very good.
That was good.
That was a little fun little segment there. So I think it's time for closing thoughts. That was the time flew tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You name them.
Let's go, Paul. Give us your closing thoughts.
Fun show tonight, guys. Always a pleasure. Ryan, Joey Clams, great guests. And hey, tonight's game, hockey tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
Let's go 6.
Good show tonight. Excuse me. Looking forward to the game tonight. Kurt, write this down. It's called fanwish.com.
Fanwish.com.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Every jersey on there is $32.
Okay.
Really?
Getting back to, everybody did a good job tonight. I'm hearing some thunder here, so we might lose you. But yep, enjoy the week.
Real quick, Kenny, Keith is saying this one's for John. That's what Pat Boland said. Coach Breslin saying great show as always. Giving us an update. Oklahoma 5-1 is up 5-1 in the first. He's talking about, I believe, the women's college softball.
Nice.
What's your final thoughts?
Yeah, always a pleasure talking sports with you guys. Stay safe and enjoy the games this week.
Where can we find you, Carson?
Yeah, if you guys like gambling content, casino, roulette, blackjack, craps, the whole 9 yards, you can find me on my live streams on Twitch. Just search up Ticket Time and you'll find me over there. If you want to get the highlight videos, same thing, but on YouTube, Ticket Time.
And a little fun thing, I was on Carson's stream the other night at the end. He did a little marble race he does with his subscribers, and guess who won the marble race out of over 100 people?
That guy.
This guy right here.
The Kenny won the marble race.
The K&K Sports Show got its name on Carson's
There you
show.
go.
Kurt, I'll go next because we got some really bad weather here, so
Okay.
I don't want to mess up my closing thoughts. Just great show. Thanks for our guests to come on. Carson, pleasure having you on Wednesdays with us each week.
Yeah.
Nice, fun show, audience, great participation. We always, value our audience and their comments and questions. So keep them coming, and we'll see you next week.
All right. My final
Sounds
thoughts
good.
real quick, Kenny. $60 billion owner. I'm pumped up. I can't wait. Franchise quarterback and Avalanche. Thank you for the nice hit of the Avalanche winning the West. Until then, great show, boys, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks to all our guests.